Welcome you all students. In the past couple of video lectures, we covered conic section, am I right? Yes. And we are familiar now how to construct the conic sections and how these conic curves are being generated. And now in this video, we are going to see the special curves. I can say in the engineering field, we always used to say apart from the conic curves, all the curves comes under the special curves. And here as far as our syllabus concerned, we are going to concentrate on cycloidal curves and involute. Okay. So if you see the cycloidal curves, another three more curves are there. One is a cycloid, epicycloid, and last one is a hypocycloid. If you see the another wing, involute, there we are going to learn about the square involute and circular involute. Okay. So now we can concentrate on the cycloidal curves. Cycloidal curves. Let me start with the first one, cycloid. Cycloid. I can say cycloid is a curve generated by the point on the circumference of the circle which rolls along this straight line path without slipping. Okay. So that means what exactly it says, I will say you, circle rolls along the straight line path. Am I right? For example, I will show you the diagram so that you will be getting familiar. Okay, circle which is rolls on this straight line path. It's a flat surface. Okay, flat surface like this, and the point on the circumference of this circle, I can say this is the circle, and this outer periphery we can call it as a circumference. So I am going to take a point here. Okay, this is the point. This is a point. So thing is, when it rolls along this straight line path, it will be tracing a path that is a cycloid. That means you just imagine have a coin, and you have a table. Just try to roll it and capture it. Okay, or else you imagine this circle is rolling in a clockwise to obtain a forward motion. It is a clockwise. Okay, and try to put a sight on this point for one complete revolution. Okay, one complete revolution for one turn. That means I can say it takes for one turn pi into d distance. That's fine. And now you just put a sight on this point and goes on tracing out. I could say if you have a better imagination, you can see the path of this point when rolling for one complete revolution. You could see the path as this manner, like a rainbow shape. You could obtain. So this curve we can call it as cycloid. Okay. So and generally we will be giving some of technical name for this circle. Usually we used to call this as a rolling circle. Since it is rolling, we will be calling as a rolling circle. And one more term we used to add, generating circle. That means the point on the circumference of the circle having the trace, right? So we can call this as a generating circle. Generating circle. And one more thing is here. If you see the platform is a straight line, we used to technically name as directing circle or else, directing line or else base line. Directing or base line. Directing or base line. Okay. So I hope you understood the basic concept of cycloid. Nothing but the circular object is there, and the point on the circumference of the circle, when it rolls on the straight line path without slipping, it traces out the path, that we will call it as a cycloid. Okay, let me move to the second one, epicycloid. Epicycloid. Epicycloids. So epicycloid in the sense here as well, a circle rolls above or else outside of another circle. That's the difference here. Here it rolls on this straight line path. Here the circular object rolls above or outside another circle. Okay, so rolls outside or above another circle, or else it rolls and it is having external contact with another circle, something like that. You will be having the things. Okay, right, I'll show you how it exactly looks. So there is a circle that I can call as base circle or directing circle. And a rolling circle is just placed as this manner. The circle is having what? External contact, right? So this is a base circle, it's just rolling above it. So this is the rolling circle or generating circle. Okay, so I can take the center of this base circle as capital O and I can take this as C. And now come to the point. So our exact thing is epicycloid in the sense point on the circumference of the circle, trace out the path when it rolls above or outside another circle, right? So here is the point. Always we used to take the point on the contact place. So here we have the contact. In the cycloid we had a contact with the baseline in this place, right? So same likewise here we are having the contact point here. And now the same work we are going to do. We are just going to imagine it is rotating, a circle is rotating above the circle and we are going to have the look for each and every stages for one complete revolution. I can say if you have a good imagination, you could realize the movement of these points. When it is rolling, it moves like this. So for one complete revolution, it makes an angle theta. And we used to calculate the theta by using the formula small r divided by capital R into 360. Small r in the sense the radius of rolling circle, capital R in the sense the radius of base circle. Okay. I hope you understood the epicycloid concept, and just we can move to the next one, hypocycloid. So the concept of the hypocycloid is similar like epicycloid. Small change is there. That means there I mentioned when a point on the circumference of the circle rolls on the outside or rolls above the another cycle, I said it's epicycloid. Here when a circle rolls inside of another circle, we can say it is a hypocycloid. So rolls inside. Sometimes we used to get a word like internal, having the circle having internal contact, something like that. Okay, so I will show you the picture. So there is a circle which is a base circle, base or directing circle, and inside this base circle we are having the rolling circle. So we will be having the arrangement like this. So I can say this is the center of base circle. I am going to denote as O, and here is the center of rolling circle. Is the rolling circle or generating circle. Okay, so here is the center, and see the same work just like we done it for the cycloid and epicycloid we are going to do. In this we are having the contact point at the top. So this is the point P on this circumference. Okay, now we are going to roll and the forward. So we must rotate this rolling circle in anti-clockwise direction everywhere. Like cycloid and epicycloid, we used to rotate in the clockwise direction. Here you can see, in order to get the forward motion, we are rotating it in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so just put your side and go for an imagination. It is having the rolling inside the base circle, and it is completing one revolution. What would be this shape? I can say you can realize like this path when it rolls, like this path. So for one complete revolution, we will be getting the angle theta, and this theta can be calculated or small r divided by capital R into 360 degree. Okay, so it's a very simple concept, and when you are going for the university exam, you may not expect, you cannot never expect the direct question. That means draw the cycloid or draw the parabola or draw the epicycloid. So the exam point of view, I can say the identification of the curve plays a major role. Okay, so you must be thorough in the concept. That means if you are getting the question, you must read out carefully. How to take the essence, what it's coming to say, what's the demanded curve. Okay, so here it is easy. Cycloid, in the sense, it's a curve generated by the point on the circumference of the circle when it rolls on the straight line path. If it is a straight line path, that is a cycloid. If a circle rolls inside the another circle, then we can say it is a hypocycloid. If the circle rolls above or outside another circle, we can call it as epicycloid. Okay, I hope you got the exact concept of the cycloidal curve. Thank you.